So everybody got message for the marathon?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. You fatapat send the orders and rest of the life you distribute them. Because this is mainly we have given you the main books in this. But you can, if you want, I am making a list also of the small books if you like. Some people like PQPA, some people like SSR, some people like Second Chance, you can do that. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter. This is online, that was offline. I was doing in above online. Agasya Pragaduhitaram
Agastya
Praduhitaram
Dhridavratam
Vedhiravratam
Yasyam Dhridachuto Jata
Yasyam Dhirachuto Jata
Majo Munihi
Brahmadajo Muni
Agasya. The great sage Agasya, Prak, first, Duhitaram, daughter, Upayeme, married, Dhrida Vratam, taken to vows, Yasyam, through whom, Dhrida Achyutaha, named Dhrida Achyuta, Jataha, was born, Idma Vahu, named Idnavaha, Atmajaha, son, Munihi, great sage. The great sage named Agastya married the firstborn daughter of the Malayadhwaja, the avowed devotee of Lord Krishna. From her a son was born whose name was Dhrida Achyuta, and from him another son was born whose name was Idnavaha. Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. The name Agastya Muni is very significant. Agastya Muni represents the mind. The word Agastya indicates that the senses do not act independently, and the word Muni means mind. The mind is the center of all the senses, and thus the senses cannot work independent of the mind. When the mind takes to the cult of bhakti, it engages in devotional service. The cult of bhakti, Bhakti Lata, is the first daughter of Malayadhwaja, and as previously described, her eyes are always upon Krishna, Asti Kshanam. One cannot render bhakti to any demigod. Bhakti can be rendered only to Vishnu, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnuhu. Thinking the absolute truth to be without form, the Mayavadis say that the word bhakti can apply to any form of worship. If this were the case, a devotee could imagine any demigod or any godly form and worship it. This, however, is not the real fact. The real fact is that bhakti can be applied only to Lord Vishnu and his expansions. Therefore, Bhakti Lata is Dhrida Vrata, the great vow, for when the mind is completely engaged in devotional service, the mind does not fall down. If one tries to advance by any other means, by Karma Yoga or Gnana Yoga, one will fall down, but if one is fixed in bhakti, he never falls down. Thus, from Bhakti Lata, the son Dhruda Achyuta is born, and from Dhruda Achyuta, the next son Idmavaha is born. The word Idmavaha refers to one who carries wood for burning in a sacrifice when approaching a spiritual master. The point is that Bhakti Lata, the cult of devotion, fixes one in his spiritual position. One so fixed never comes down, and he begets children who are strict followers of the Shastric injunction. As said in the Vedas, Tad Vignartam Sagurum Eva Vigachet Samit Pani Shrotiyam Brahmanishtam. In the line of devotional service, those who are initiated are strict followers of the Vedic scriptural injunctions. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnam Krishnayam Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deving Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashat Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Agasya Pragadhuhitaram
अगस्त्या प्रागदूहितरम्
Upaye me Dhrida Vratam
वेदितव्रताम्
Yachito Jata
यस्याच्युतो जाता
यस्याच्युतो जाता
Atmajo Munihi.
ब्रह्मात्मजो मुनिः
The name Agastya married the firstborn daughter of Malayadhwaja, the avowed devotee of the Lord Krishna. From her, one son was born whose name was Dhrida Achyuta. From him, another son was born whose name was Idnavaha. Hare Krishna, everybody.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी
Hare Krishna सभी को सब
Shall meditate on those verses. The first thing Prabhupada says, very important understanding, bhakti is only to Vishnu. There is no bhakti to the devatas. God has no form, you can imagine any form, and you can do some Jai Kali, Jai Ganesh Deva, and we see big superstar, film stars. There was picture of, some Ambani in Bombay doing great devotion to one special Ganesha, and it was all bogus. There is no devotion to anything except Vishnu. Why? Because, don't make sound in the background. Please mute yourself. There is no devotion to anything except Vishnu. Okay, I'll make some of you as so they can do the job on the background. Other than that, done. Take care. So there is no devotion to anything except Vishnu. Why? Because only here we are transcendental. Only here we are transcendental. If you have come to Krishna consciousness means, we should be transcendental. I remember when I joined the movement, I told you many times, we were 4-5 of us who had joined together from the same college, from the same company. And then when they used to get some service and I used to get very envious. But actually later, by Krishna's grace, as I started tasting the holy name, I realized that I should be on a spiritual platform. Spiritual platform means these things should go away, isn't it? In crowd, suppose somebody calls you and gives you garland and you are special, does not matter, correct? It should not matter. We say that, but it's not possible unless we are on the spiritual platform. True? Agree? Unless we are on the spiritual platform, it is not possible. Even we had Srila Prabhupada godbrothers, some of them, they appreciated so much the work he had done. You fulfilled the mission of our spiritual master. Yes. They were so happy to receive Srila Prabhupada. When Srila Prabhupada came back to India, they were so happy to receive him. You've done the order of our spiritual master. They were not saying, oh, now he has billions of dollars, now he has hundreds of temples, now he has thousands of disciples, let me be envious of that. It is there, it happened. Some people became envious. And they tried to tell the disciples, hey, what are you doing? I will give you diksha. वो तो क्या था, congregation था हमारा, है ना? It was a grahastha in a congregation. मैं sannyasi. And they reinitiated some of his disciples. What happened? So we have to, so you may be chanting 64 rounds, you may be sannyasi. That is not a guarantee you are on a spiritual platform. The way you behave when situations comes around you will prove whether you have entered cult of bhakti, idmavahu or dhrida achyuta or bhakti lata, where have you entered itself? When you enter the bhakti, these things should be out. Dhrida achyuta, now you have become fixed up to do devotion service. Idmavahu, next step. See what has happened. First stage is that we, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, by mercy of so many wonderful servants of Srila Prabhupada, we have started our bhakti. Correct? Brahmana Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Paye Bhakti Lata Veej. It's a joint venture, JV, joint venture between Krishna and Acharya to give you Bhakti Lata Bija. Okay? Krishna directly does not give Bhakti Lata Bija. On the recommendation of his pure devotee, he gives you Bhakti Lata Bija. And the joy of serving Krishna, pure joy of serving Krishna, which is transcendental, fructifies in the heart. That is first stage. That is उतने में ही हम रह गया, पूरा जिंदगी उधर ही रह गया. That is called कनिष्ठ अधिकारी or called श्रद्धावान. शुरू हो गया, भक्ति शुरू हो गया. But Bhakti Lata, plant has to grow. A plant is not growing. वो उतना ही रह गया. श्रद्धा सबते विश्वास निश्चया कृष्ण भक्ति का इले सर्व कर्म कृत है. श्रद्धा का डेफिनेशन ही इतना खतरनाक है. If I just serve Krishna, my life is successful. ये समझ आ गया. ये तो श्रद्धा है ना खाली. इसी में सेटिस्फाई हो गए आप, बस खुश रहो. You have to be careful. When you are putting seed and you are growing so many weeds, you have to remove the weeds. Just like आगे वो मैं देख रहा था, plants grow नहीं कर रहे हैं, है ना? अंदर देखो इतने घास लग गई, वो grow कैसे करेगा? सारा तो nutrient वो खींच लेगा, है ना? So you have to remove it. Maybe doing devotion service, but maybe attached to the fruits, है ना? How does it matter? Now just imagine you are a disciple of Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada. And he ordered, preach all around the world. Somebody has done it. How does it matter? I have done it or he has done it. The order of my Guru hasn't fulfilled, correct? We should be happy or we should not be happy? Nahi, mere ko karna. I remember one devotee told me, the first service we had, we were distributing Gitas. So one person was thak selling Gitas. And Dusra was a provider in the marketplace, so everybody had equal opportunity. He was also approaching people. Nobody was buying from him. Then he started praying, now he should not sell any Gita. He told me, Krishna, no more, enough. I can't see this anymore. He has done 20 Gitas, I am not even told one. This is our reality, because we are not transcendental. Bhakti Radha to mil gaya. But Dhrida Achyuta nahi hua. Okay, you understand this. So bhakti is only to Vishnu because in devatas cannot bring you to the transcendental platform. They themselves are not fully on the transcendental platform. How they'll bring you? How they'll bring you? Why is it when a pure devotee who comes to the spiritual world speaks, even devatas sit and listen? Why? Because they are also not fully transcendental. Correct? When Parikshit Maharaj was hearing, Shukamuni was speaking, all the devatas, all the great people came and they were hearing. Rishis from around the universe were hearing. Why? Because Shukamuni is totally on a transcendental platform. It does not belong to this world. He is the parent of Radharani. Everybody, he can pull everybody out on the spiritual platform. And Parikshit Maharaj was hearing him was a great devotee already. But by hearing, he became totally transcendental, so much so he said, where is the snake? Kidhar hai saap? Transcendental platform, no fear now. Come. Where is the snake? And before the snake came, Krishna didn't want to give him a pain. As far as I understand, you can check again. Krishna didn't want, he just went totally transcendental into the spiritual world, and then snake was biting the dead body. The same way, we have the situation of Vritasura. Vritasura left the body in total samadhi to Krishna. At the end of the war, he just swallowed Indra with his mouth. And he did his job. He was born as a demon by the curse of Durga. He accepted it. He had to fight, he fought as his, situation. And then he left the body. In samadhi, left the body. And Indra was cutting his dead head and celebrating, I won. Okay? So then the Bhagavatam says, Vritasura went back to Godhead, and Indra is still rotting in this world. If you are transcendental, you will appreciate Vitras going to spiritual world. You will not enjoy seeing Indra sitting on Indrasana. So it requires Brahma Rudradi Kitayate. Somebody receives the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, even if he sees Brahma and Lord Shiva. And if they are not Brahma and Lord Shiva, and if they are not Krishna conscious, somebody having even that position, he considers it like an insect. Why? Because he is transcendental. So we need to. And first thing is, we get Bhakti Lata Bija. Now here it is staged in maybe 3 parts. Dhrida Achyuta. Second stage is Dhrida Achyuta. Become determined now. Bhakti. He become determined in Bhakti. Abhi wo nahi hua hamara. Abhi wahi chal raha hai. First stage we have come. Bhakti shuru ho gayi hai, kuch hai. And sense gratification is also going on. Bhakti is also going on. And we want association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What did the standard set by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? That's for everybody the standard. One wrong glance at a girl. By whom? Chota Haridas Thakur. He had to commit suicide. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yes, that is the punishment for somebody who does this. What was the offense? A very, very small offense. So, आपको क्या बोल? Special ticket बनेगा आपके लिए. Krishna can be, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can be very, very partial like this. It's for everybody. You cannot enter his association unless you are sincere. नहीं चल रहा है, मैं कुछ जपा करता है, करते रहो. छोटा हरिदास ठाकुर कहते करते रहो. But it will not. But then he was fortunate. And what was the punishment he undertook? He committed suicide in Triveni. Are you ready for that? Now, एक बारी नहीं, करोड़ बारी करना पड़ेगा. Just imagine. And when he died, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yes, that is the punishment for somebody who cheats like this. Yes. He said, yes. लोग सोचे उनको बुरा लगेगा. They brought the news to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu one day said, after maybe couple of years, bring Chota Haridas Thakur. Now you can come. I forgive him. So they said, they didn't have a courage to tell. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he committed suicide at Triveni. Yes! That is a punishment for somebody who cheats in bhakti like this. तो धीरा अच्युता बनना आसान नहीं है, मजाक नहीं है भक्ति. प्रॉपर से डोंट मेक स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ अ जोक. हम क्या है, वो पहला ही शुरू श्रद्धा हो गया, श्रद्धा में तो रहोगे. Chaitanya Charitamrita, billions of years you can keep chanting, nothing will happen unless you go in bhakti. And why we don't grow? Because of our offenses. We will stay there only. You can do billions, and just like when you're chanting Hare Krishna, you doing japa. Yeah, Nama Parada stage, Nama Bhasa stage, Shuddha Nama stage. Only Shuddha Nama you go to Krishna. Even Nama Bhasa will only clear your Papa Karmas. You will not go back to Krishna. Correct? And Ajamila chanted very loudly. Why didn't Krishna take him back to God? It was enough. No, it was not Shuddha Nama. It was only Nama Bhasa. He was chanting with tears in his eyes. Krishna, Narayana, that's all. So he got corresponding benefit. He got purified from sinful activities. But why didn't he go back to the spiritual Lord? He was not ready now. Where is Shuddha Nama? Therefore, he went, he practiced and chanted, Narayana, 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 Narayana. God showed the Nama in his mouth. Narayana. Come, they took him. Correct? So, जब तक शुद्ध भक्त नहीं बनेंगे, टिकट नहीं मिलेगा आपको. टिकट लिखा है. आचार्य के जब, when we come to the shelter of आचार्य, टिकट तो बन जाएगा, लेकिन डेट नहीं आती उसमें. डेट नहीं आएगी. Correct? And if you do something foolish, ticket can be thrown away also. But generally people will not do that. But ticket is made already. Moment you start bhakti, ticket is made. Millions of life, trillions of life, one day you will go back to Godhead because you got bhakti lata, bija. वो तो sprout होगा. But then you can make it fast, you can make it slow. The opportunity is ours. It's a great opportunity now. Okay? So the first thing is dhrida achyuta. We become determined. I will seriously practice Krishna consciousness, my Lord. I will be serious. Okay? Very good. And then what you will do? Innahu. You will bring a firewood. That is what he said. In fact, this is similar thing is there. Samat pani. Bring firewood. Tad vijnanartham. To understand the spiritual science, tad vijnanartham sagurum eva bigachet. Prabhupada said, saha, tad vijnanartham saha. Saha means he. Anybody who wants to progress in spiritual life, eva bigachet. Sagurum, to the guru, we should go. Gachet means we should go. Gachet means compulsory, we have to go. So actually, Srila Prabhupada is the Jagat Guru now for the whole world. Correct? Everybody has to. Some are fortunate. That's why you are distributing Gita. They get a chance to hear the words of the Acharya of the age. He knows how to preach. He knows how to preach. Saguru eva bigachet is compulsory. People should go if they want to come to the spiritual path. But people are generally going to the bogus gurus. There is no benefit. He cannot take them to the spiritual platform. 99% of society, so-called society we have in India today, what does it say? In fact, the same thing is for other religions also. There is not much difference. Kalyuga, it is very difficult to come to this conception of Radha Krishna in the spiritual world. Practically every religion, there is no conception of the form of God. There is no conception also. God has no form, no idea. Same thing Hindus have become today. God has no form, you can imagine Him in any form and do whatever bhakti you want. All paths lead, yato mat tato pat, all paths lead to the same way. And that's all it is remaining. That's all it is remaining. So, we should therefore not make a mistake. We got Bhakti Lata, we become Dhrida Achyuta, become determined, and then Tad Vijnanartham say Sagurum Eva Vigachet, then Samit Paniya Shrotiyam Brahmanishtam. This is one beautiful shloka which has the qualification of Guru also. What is the Guru's qualification? Brahmanishtam. Everybody wants to become Jagat Guru. So no way, everybody wants to do. Brahmanishtam. He should be totally on the spiritual platform. Nishtha, on the spiritual platform. Brahmanishtam. Shastra Chakshuhu. He should see only through the Shastra. Because when he is seeing from our eyes, we see wrong. Many times when Prabhupada said something difficult to understand, he said, Prabhupada, how do we understand this? Prabhupada, it doesn't matter. I can be wrong, but Shastra cannot be wrong. That is called Shastra Chakshuhu. Acharya only sees through the Shastra. He speaks through the Shastra, not through his eyes. He knows we are conditioned. Whatever we are seeing is all our imagination, our conditioning. What we hear, the world has to corroborate with that, not reverse. What we see and what we hear, what is more important? Science means first we see and then we hear, and they try to maybe reject what we hear based on what they see. But Shastra means different. We hear, we accept that, and we try to corroborate what we see with what we hear, and if it doesn't fit, we reject what we see. Reverse it. What we see, we reject. Okay, maybe. What we see, we hardly can see anything. Prabhupada says, why you are so proud of your eyes? What can you see? Anna? If the light is not there, you can't see anything. Don't be so proud of your eyes. So, Shrotiyam Brahma Nishtha, Shasa Chakshuhu, these are the various qualifications given of the Acharya, correct? And Srila Prabhupada fully satisfies all this criteria in his personal life. So we are so proud, all of us, to be in his shelter, so proud, so happy to be in his shelter. Okay? And you see that, how much joy he was creating. You see his conversations, his lectures, devotees, you are just bringing the devotees from any part of the world to the spiritual platform. In the beginning there was some hesitation from India, and later today, he's still acting. India is the best preaching ground. They say preaching means now India, correct? You see the number of devotees being made in India is unimaginable. Practically it's exploding. So millions of people are coming to the spiritual platform with the Shakti of the Acharya. Prabhupada says one disciple of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can liberate one whole universe, because he is on spiritual platform, he can bring. We are on material platform, we cannot bring anybody to spiritual. We ourselves are compromised. Or you can, when your hands are tied, how you can untie somebody? Common sense. Our hands are ourselves tied. So we cannot prove, we can inspire other people by our thing, samit paniya. So we bring wood for fire, for yagna. Now there is no Kalyuga now, we are not, the process of Nama Sankirtana, but we are doing what? Yagna. Yagna is Sankirtana Praya. We are doing Yagna for Nama Sankirtana we are doing. Great. Now for this Yagna that we are doing, what do we need? We need firewood? No. We need to chant. This is the Nama Sankirtana Yagna. We need to chant the holy name. But then fire we can understand in this way, we light the fire, but we don't bring wood, we bring bucket of water. And when we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna, fire starts, Sankirtana Yagna. क्या करते हैं? We do sense gratification और उसके ऊपर एक bucket पानी डाल देते हैं, फुस, ठीक है? फिर हरे कृष्णा, फिर आग जलनी शुरू होती है, फिर bucket पानी. हम लकड़ी लेके नहीं आते, bucket पानी का लेके आते हैं, क्यों? बुझाने के लिए. Hare Krishna. Then starts, bhakti starts, so much joy starts. Why the joy doesn't remain whole day? Because पानी डालते रहते बीच-बीच में उसमें. It's a common sense, no. It's a heart is like a wood only. Very nicely some devotees say, our heart is like a dry cold coal, but in association with Acharya, start burning. Acharya's heart is burning in bhakti, it start burning. Just like you take agarbatti को लगाते हैं ना, आग में जलना शुरू हो जाती है, दिए को लगाते जलना. So Acharya's heart is burning with love of Krishna. We associate, we also start burning. A cold heart, coal like heart, start burning in the association of the Acharya. And we feel so blissful. We feel so blissful and happy. But then, after that, he put a bucket of water over it. We destroy it. So, Bhakti Lita Bija mil gaya, Dheda Achyuta ho jao, and next, idno bhao, लकड़ी लेके आओ आग जलाने के लिए, पानी बकेट का पानी नहीं लेके आओ बुझाने के लिए, है ना? चलते रहो. Now there is, like it's actually should be, whole life should be a celebration. In Kalyuga. There we are the most unqualified people. We see even great sages. You will see many great sages you read even in Bhagavatam, attached to impersonal Brahma. We see that. Great sages. Not fully realized to the lotus feet of Krishna. In this universe, how many people even know Radha Krishna? Prema is the highest thing. The Vipralambha Seva is the highest thing. How many people know? Even in the universe. True? So fortunate we have been made a residents of Kalyuga. And we have got faith. We have got faith. Yes. Just like when you are buying seeds in the market, when you are growing, you get a wonderful seed. है ना? तो आपको तो wonderful seed मिला है. And there is still karma bija, jnana bija तो society में मिलता रहता है. Karma bija, you work hard, you become successful, you become famous, you become powerful, you become worshipable. ये तो बीज मिलते हैं. लोग डालते रहते हैं हार्ट में. Then jnana bija, you become very knowledgeable, ऐसा तर्क करोगे, वैसा तर्क करोगे, वाह वाह कितना ज्ञान है इसको, है ना? ज्ञान बीज भी मिलते हैं, but bhakti lata bija is something different. Sometimes we forget this. See, in a society also they say this. Very few people think about others. है ना? They have become social, humanitarian workers. But then you are only taking care of the dress, no? You got the essence, but you didn't know the application. But a bhakta is actually a person who thinks about others. And who is the first person to think? Krishna. He is thinking about how to satisfy Krishna. Karmi, Jnani, Yogi are thinking about themselves. Kami, they are called lusty. They are thinking about their own self. Krishna Bhakta Nishkama, only Krishna devotee thinking about somebody else. है ना? Selfish person always thinks about only himself. ये भी समझ आ गया? Normal moral science में this is a class, correct? Selfish person thinks, very few people think about other people. And we call them great. But actually, even if you think about what they are able to do, only some superficial covering, they cannot really make a person happy. But a bhakta can make the whole world happy by giving them Krishna consciousness. Actually, he is thinking really how to bring people to Krishna consciousness. But for that, you have to come to spiritual platform. And how do you come to spiritual platform? You have to associate with Acharya and stop cheating Krishna. Correct? And then, Krishna feels very blissful. I feel more and more happy because we are taking Krishna consciousness. And as Krishna becomes more happy by your sincere service, you also float in the ocean of bliss of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna everybody.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Sadar Pranam.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी
कृष्णा
दंडवत
सभी को
प्रणाम
सादर
प्रभु जी
कृष्णा प्रभु जी सादर प्रणाम प्रभु जी
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
हरे कृष्णा
Hare
प्रभु जी
Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी
दंडवत प्रभु जी हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
कृष्णा
Hare
हरे
Krishna,
कृष्णा
Hare
कृष्णा
Hare,
हरे
Hare
हरे
Rama, Hare
हरे
Rama,
राम
Rama
राम
Hare
राम
Hare.
हरे
चलिए
हरे
हो रही प्रभु जी.
हरे कृष्णा
Hare
कृष्णा
Krishna, राम प्रभु जी दर्शन.
कृष्णा हरे
Krishna,
हरे
Hare
राम
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
राम
Hare,
हरे
Hare
हरे
Rama, Hare Rama,
हरे
Rama
कृष्णा
Rama, Hare
कृष्णा
Hare.
हरे हरे
Krishna, Hare
हरे
Krishna,
राम
Krishna
राम
Krishna, Hare
राम
Hare,
हरे हरे
Hare Rama,
कृष्णा
Hare
हरे
Rama,
कृष्णा
Rama Rama,
कृष्णा
Hare
हरे
Hare.
हरे
कृष्ण प्रभु जी,
राम हरे
दंडवत प्रणाम.
राम
थैंक यू
राम
प्रभु जी.
राम
हरे कृष्णा.
हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे